Hi students, electrical line worker instructor John Kennedy. Today I'll be doing a lecture on how to read a blueprint. This is in your course of 1860. At the end of this lecture, you will have in your blackboard a quiz to take. So I'll be breaking this down into segments and making sure I'm covering all points with this blueprint that I have on the screen. What you see here, students, is an overview of a job print with new business. The new business is in the dotted lines here. The existing is the solid lines here. The dotted green lines is all installed. This is conductor to be installed, and this is a service to be installed. This is already installed. The solid green line is the primary conductor, primary and neutral conductor. The red is service. I'll break that down to you a little more once I break this up into segments so that you can fully understand how to look at and read this blueprint. So we'll start here. This is the beginning of the new business. On these sections here, you can see these numbers here are considered job location numbers. If you look a little closer here, you'll see that it has pertinent information as to what is to be installed at this job location number 1, and so on and so forth. So on a typical job that we have here, we will start working this job from the rear and working our way back to the front. Let's start here at location number 5. Okay, so let's recap. Overall job print, new business installed here, and existing is here, solid. Primary conductors, secondary conductors. So we're going to start here again in job location 5. That's on this work order. This is indicating a service, and that's the footage of the service is 100 feet. Number 2, TA. That's triplex aluminum service. That'll be this red line here. This asterisk here indicates the customer service pole. Also, starting at the top in this indicating box here, in a 35 class 5 pole. The X right here indicates the pole installation. Just jumping around right in this view here, we have 1, 2, 3 pole installations. Actually 4 pole installations on this job. At this particular spot, we have a 35 class 5, and we're gonna have one guy assembly. You have a guy rod, anchor, and an ice insulator. That insulator, anchor, guy rod, and the guide wire makes up the down guy assembly. Here, that's indicating the dead end coming on this pole here, and the 15 kVA transformer assembly is the dotted lines here. That indicates installing a transformer. This is indicating the size transformer, the kVA size, 15 kVA, and the transformer assembly. When you see a transformer assembly, you will have a switch, T-hanger, and arrestor, which makes up the transformer assembly. The numbers that you see here, I think by this time I'll be going over a lot of this with you out in the field, but this is a transformer location number. This is the transformer size. It's a 15, and this is the phase that is coming down in here to feed this service. That's phase 2. Again, the pole size, 35. Again, the dotted line here, the large dotted line, green dotted line, is indicating the wire. This is the wire size for your conductor. When I say conductor, it's going to be the primary and neutral conductor. So you have 2 ACSR plus 2 ACSR neutral in this span from this pole to this pole. That's the length of wire, and you want to double that length, which we'll talk about at this job location 4. At job location 4, you have installed a 40 class 5 pole. Same down guy, one down guy, just as we had back in location 5. This is the down guy here, and this is the pole here. Double dead end is that PNDD1, talking about where the wire deads into this pole in this span, and the wire deads into the pole on this span. You have the wire length, 295 feet. Number 2, ACSR, and as we have right here, and that's giving you the length. When you're adding the total length for your primary and neutral conductor, you want to do that figure twice. Okay? That's indicating, again, once this job print is complete and you pull this map back up, you'll see that this pole is a 40-foot pole. Once they're installed, let me go back over here and show you how what the symbols look like for already installed. That's a pole already installed right there, that circle. Okay? When we look at job location 3, again indicating what's at that location to be installed. You have a pole, the X indicating a pole. You have a guy, a down guy, and that's going to be the assembly. And then on this pole, you actually have what we called a span guy, which is the wire between this pole here and this pole here. And the purpose of this span guy is to back this wire pull off up to keep the pole from pulling on over, which is called a guy. That's what the purpose of all your guys is, to keep your pole and equipment in line and not pulling over from the weight of equipment or wire. 30-foot pole for your span guy, and as I said, you start building this job coming from the rear, and this is how you do it. So let's recap. On this pole here, you have at this location, work location, you have installing a 35-foot pole, ending one guy, dead ending the primary conductor. That's going to be a neutral and a primary wire. You will install a transformer, which is here, 15 kVA transformer and assembly. And remember, the assembly also includes a switch, T-hanger, and arrestor. And also installing a 100-foot number 2 TA service, which is here. You will also, while you're at this pole and building this job from the end going to the front, is you would dead end this conductor wire before going to the next location. So when you get to this location and install the 40-foot pole here and the 30-foot pole here, you can pull this wire up and dead end this wire coming here. Hope you can see how that's being built to where you don't have to backtrack yourself. Everything is in place here. Everything is in place here. That includes a 40-foot class 5 pole, one down guy, double dead end, which is the wires dead end in this direction and dead end in this direction, with the wire span is 295 feet times 2. You got to remember that. That's times 2 for your primary and your neutral. This span guy is galvanized wire that you would be using to use on all your down guy installations. So at this point, you're ready to move to location 2. At location 2 here, indicating that install a 40-foot pole, and the class size is 5, a 40 class 5 pole. You're going to get the double dead end, same as on this pole here, and 200 feet of number 2 aluminum and number 2 aluminum neutral. Again, indicating your conductor from this pole to this pole is going to be 200 feet times 2. Also, once you get this pole set and this wire pulled off going to the beginning pole here, the existing pole, you can dead end this wire here, and because you deaded in this wire here, you're ready to pull this wire up because everything is in place to keep that pole in line, and you You can go ahead and build your jumpers on here as well. And once you do that, you're ready to move to location 1. So again, I want to recap, going back to location 4 and location 3. The installations here, again, install 40-foot pole, class 5, 1 down guy assembly, double dead end wire in each direction. The amount of wire that's in this span of wire going back to this dead end pole to location 5. You're installing in location 3, installing a 30-foot class 5 pole and a 1 guy assembly and a span guy piece of wire, which is, that's what the G is for the guy, between this pole and this pole to back up this wire down to location 5. Coming to location 2, everything is in place, installed 40 class 5 pole, double dead end the wire from this pole back to 4, and from location 2 back to 1. Got your guys in place before pulling wire up to keep the pole in line. And again, this is the footage for this span of wire between location 2 and location 4. Times 2. You gotta remember that. Times 2. So again, this location is complete. You're ready to move your vehicles down to location 1. This wire, span the wire here, which is 200 feet, which is 250 feet, is indicating right here. You're just in 250 feet, number 2, aluminum. That's for your neutral and your primary conductor, times 2. You're going to install a guy. That's a new guy installed. This is an existing guy. If you notice that guy does not have any dotted lines in it, so it's existing. This is the new guy to back up this span of wire going back to location 2. So when you set up here, you're doing your cover up, and all you're gonna need to do here to safely pull this wire up, more than likely into the energized area, because all of this is existing, meaning it's energized. So you pull it up, dead it in, primary and neutral wire, and once you build your jumper to energize the new existing wire, someone will go back here to location 5 and energize that transformer, and that will energize the service for the house that's being built here. So overall, you see the total view of the job print here as we started out. Some things to recap and you would need to know is this is a blueprint. This is a work print for this particular location. It's always identified with references from the map, who engineered it, and those things. So, in recapping, remember, solid line already installed pole here, installed transformer, same thing here with the pole and transformer, and green is conductor, red is secondary. So those are services. Come here on the job print, the new business part of this job, which you'll be building, all dotted lines for wire installation. Green is conductor, primary and neutral. Red dotted is installed service. This is, the asterisk here is indicating service pole for the customer. And on this print, started out saying that we had 5 job locations. Location 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And each one of those locations, you had specific duties to do. And we started back here on the back side of this job, building this job, starting with location 5, installing a pole, transformer, a guy, service, and primary conductor wire. Came up to location 4, installing a pole, 2 guys, 1 guy on this pole, backing up the conductor going to location 2, and then you went to location 3, which is a span guy with a down guy to back up conductors going back down to location 5. Again, I emphasize that you want to have all of 4 and 3 in place before you can pull this conductor up. It will pull that pole out of line, as you said. You would dead end this wire going to location 2, and you're ready to move to location 2. Remember, all this is being built. So you want to recognize how many locations that you have, what information is in the location, how many poles are on the job, how many transformers. So at a glance, when you have your job safety briefing, once you get out to this location, all of these things will be talked about with the lead person on the crew to everybody on the crew as to how many poles, how much wire, how many transformers, how many down guys, the wire size. He'll just give an overall view of what what you're going to be doing at this particular job site. These locations, they would be marked with flags from engineering coming out ahead of the crew, and that's what we call engineering the job. Before he drew this job up, he came out and engineered it in the field, came back to the office with some notes taken in the field, and drew it up on the CAD machine. But things to remember: locations, wire size, length, number of poles, number of guys, the difference in the green and the red, and the solid and the dot, and you're ready to build this job.